7 requires the shipper or their appointed agent to provide to the master, in writing and before loading, any appropriate information on the cargo sufficiently in advance of loading to enable the precautions which may be necessary for proper stowage and safe carriage of cargo. In the case of grain cargoes, this will mainly be the stowage factor, so that the master can make decisions on the arrangements of the cargo and calculate the trim and stability of the ship, including grain healing moments. It is also important that the master be careful to not load a cargo that will not be accepted at the discharge port. The shipper's declaration must also include details of the content. The moisture content of a sample of cargo is the quantity which the sample contains, expressed as a percentage of total wetness of that sample. If the moisture content is higher than the maximum allowed for the carriage of the particular grain, then the cargo may be refused or require further drying. Grain cargoes should be accepted for loading if their moisture content is declared to be greater than 14%, or 15% in the case of rice. In this case, the advice of the owner should be sought in order to get expert advice. Grain cargoes can be shipped at temperatures up to about 25 degrees Celsius. Between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius, more biological activity will occur. This activity leads to more CO2 being given off and self-heating of the cargo taking place. In the presence of moisture, it will also lead to the development of molds, and in the case of some grain cargoes, lead to germination or sprouting. In some cases, a phytosanitary certificate may be required. Phytosanitary certificates are issued by inspectors in the exporting country to certify that the requirements of the plant health regulations of the importing country have been met. The document of authorization is issued by the flag state administration of a ship and certifies that a ship is capable of loading grain in accordance with the requirements of the International Grain Code. The document of authorization is a requirement of SOLAS for ships carrying grain. Without a document of authorization must not load grain until the master satisfies the authorities in the port of loading that the ship can comply with the requirements of the International Grain Code. A copy of the document of authorization, grain loading stability data and associated plans must be kept on board so that the master can produce them for inspection when required.